What you should know about uncontrollable anger and bipolar disorder. There's this disillusioned idea that hypomania is a perk of having bipolar disorder. People associate it with being sky-high happy. They believe that there are only two spectrums of the disorder, being over the moon and being desperately sad. This is not the case. Bipolar disorder has a large spectrum, with two ends of it being two extremes, mania and depression. While depression can see a person isolating themselves, sleeping a lot, doing things detrimental to their health and worst of all, having suicidal thoughts, when it comes to mania, a person can act a lot of different ways. Uncontrollably excited, unstoppable, invincible, easily distracted, unable to concentrate, and ultimately delusional and paranoid, which includes intrusive thoughts, seeing things, hearing things and feeling things that other people don't. Sales manager with motor neuron disease writes emails using his eyes. No, it's not acute illnesses. What it's really like to live with narcolepsy. 10 hurtful things people have said to me about my depression. Mania can be terrifying, especially when you're out of it and realize how you were acting. As someone with bipolar disorder, I've only experienced it briefly. What I do experience on a regular basis is hypomania, which is a form of mania without psychosis. Hypomania consists of similar symptoms to mania: feeling euphoric and an overwhelming feel of self-importance. You're heavily motivated, your energy levels skyrocket. You need less sleep, and you have big ideas. Your mind races and you make plans you'd have never made before. Perhaps you spend a ridiculous amount of money on things you don't need. Perhaps you act completely out of character, reckless and on edge. All of the above can have knock-on effects and leave a person feeling ashamed of their behavior when not hypomanic. But for me, the worst part of hypomania is the rage. Yep, that's right, another part of hypomania is become irritated and angry. And people with bipolar disorder are more vulnerable to losing control of their temper than people without the disorder. Irritability in bipolar isn't like your standard irritability. It's not waking up in a bad mood, it's often being triggered and going from 1 to 10 in terms of outburst. Irritability when I'm in an episode can be debilitating. It doesn't take much for me to begin feeling frustrated. Perhaps my partner hasn't done a washing up. Maybe he left some dirty clothes on the bathroom floor. Maybe I forgot to put something in the fridge. It doesn't matter, I'll feel my blood pressure begin to boil, and I won't be able to catch it. And before I know it, I've exploded into a fit of rage, and the only way is down. More often than not, I'll lock myself in the bathroom when I feel myself getting angry. I need to be on my own to try to calm down. I'll take deep breaths, but they'll often be so fast I send myself into a panic attack. And then I crash. Standard procedure is I'll begin to cry, tire myself out, apologize to my partner, take my pills, and go to sleep. Because that's the thing, while my relationship suffers, guilt and regret after an outburst have corrosive emotional consequences. There's some relief shortly afterwards, but afterwards the "oh my God, what did I just do?" sets in. I never expect my partner to forgive me. But he does. I know he shouldn't, and I understand that when I'm feeling better, but in the heat of the moment nothing else matters but getting angry. And this is what I wish people knew about hypomania. That it's not just one extreme to the other. There's all the bits in between. If people knew that mania wasn't just feeling euphoric, there'd be better understanding on how to deal with it. It's so common for people to just disregard anger as a negative personality trait, instead of seeing the bigger picture and realizing it's part of a dark episode. Therefore, it's so common for a sufferer to be blamed instead of helped. If we took away the assumption that bipolar is feeling overwhelmingly happy or devastatingly sad, people who don't live with the disorder would find it easier to understand. And I feel that's an important part of helping someone who does live with it deal with it. I know that if my partner didn't understand and became furious with me each time I had an outburst, which would be totally understandable, I'd never confront what I'd done wrong afterwards or that I'd caused the problem. It's easier to blame an argument on the other person in it when there's two sides. But when there's only one, I'm forced to analyze my own.